pointing out, Prakash was mentioned, look at BL Kashyap. I mean, the chart perhaps should come up on your screen. I think, it's up 100% this year. But I say that casually because there are so many stocks which are up 100%. But this is, one of those contractors which back in the day in 2007, 8, 9 got into trouble, overextended what they were doing. Pure contractors, basically. Went into the CDR process, etc. Now, of course, things seem to be turning for this one as well. They've been getting orders regularly, etc., from real estate companies and infrastructure developers as well. So 69 on BL Kashyap at this point in time. 120 points is what we have on the Nifty, 19,670. Mithun Aswath is with us, managing partner at Kivah Advisors. Mithun, good to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. We were talking about bond deals earlier. There was Lata with us. There was a guest on bond markets as well, Lakshmi Iyer. And we were talking about, will stock markets and banks, financials, etc. sit up and take notice if yields were to, stay at these elevated levels? So to be fair, Lakshmi did say that maybe, after the rise we've seen from 7.11, 7.12 to today's rise, things should consolidate a little bit, should not be one way. But your thoughts?
Yeah, good afternoon, Prashant. I think with regards to the bond yield movement today, I think there's been a sharp spike, mainly because of that news of that OMO sale. Having said that, I think over the last few days, there have been positive events, at least from the US angle, where the yields had gone up to close to 5% on the 30-year and 4.88 on the 10-year. And they've actually come back down to about 4.7 and 4.85. So there's been actually a rally in the US bonds after a sharp move up. Also in the last few days, you've seen oil cool off from the 94, 95 level back to 83, 84. So I think these couple of events have been positive. And I think our markets also rebounded when you saw oil and US yields kind of come off. Otherwise, I think the US yields were moving very sharply on the upside.
Mithun, hi, just to sort of continue that point, what is your take on financials? We've seen Q2 updates from most, and I think at least as far as growth is concerned, not too many lenders have complained, or even NBFCs. I mean, Bajaj Finance managed a 30% plus growth again on total assets. So what would your strategy be with respect to buying financials, specifically NBFCs now?
Yeah, hi. I think, Surbhi, on the financial side, I think most of the reports, at least business reports which have come so far, seem like, growth continues to be quite robust. I think the only challenge is on the margin front. The expectation is that margins will now flatten out. There is not too much of scope of NIM expansion. So I think it should be a reasonably good quarter since the base is still low. I think from the Q3, Q4 onwards, I think, the base effect will start kicking in. And also, there's been tremendous amount of growth in the last 12 months or so, even on the personal loan side. And some amount of provisioning, which may come about because of some sort of issues which could crop up. Nothing currently, but I think maybe over the next 6 to 12 months that could happen. So one needs to be choosy in what type of NBFCs or financials one needs to look at.
Okay, all right. Hi, Mithun. I believe you're quite positive on the hospitality space as well. And there are various triggers, right? Q3 is seasonally strong. You have the G20 summit that's ongoing. And in fact, you have the Cricket World Cup 2023 as well. Give us a couple of stocks. How do you play this theme?
Yeah. Afternoon, Nigel. I think, Q2 was where, a lot of occupancy would have been up for, the hospitality sector because of the G20, which completed. Q3 onwards, you have obviously the World Cup and the festival season all bunched up together. So I think it should be a reasonably strong quarter for the hospitality space. Within this space, I think one idea which we've held on to for quite a while, we have done some profit booking some time back, is Thomas Cook. This is a company in the travel services space. They also have the resorts business called Sterling Holidays. and a very strong forex business. Also, outbound traffic is also inching up. So they should do well in both inbound and outbound, because inbound will be after a long time post-COVID that you will start seeing travelers from outside come into India. They also would have benefited from the G20 meetings, where quite a few of those meetings also were organized by the company. So I think that that is one idea that we continue to have.
Mithun, have they said, when you chat with the management, have they said anything about this TCS, which is going to be collected at source for travel now? Is it impacting spends in any way? Have things slowed down for a company like Thomas Cook on the back of that? And secondly, I wanted to get your thoughts in on Kalyan Jewellers. Is this a stock that you've ever looked at? Because for the last 2 quarters, it's been popping up on our radar on account of the strong numbers they reported. Q1 was one, and now even the Q2 business update, a 30% plus revenue growth. And the stock, of course, has doubled in more than a year. So have you looked at Kalyan Jewellers?
Yeah, afternoon, Rima. On the TCS part of it, if you see from 1st of October, TCS will be applicable in excess of 7 lakhs per annum and per person. So, the impact is not going to be very large, because most people's and the packages that Thomas Cook would sell would be within that 7 lakh bracket per person. And the 5% TCS, which is applicable right now, would continue. So the increased TCS will not be applicable for travelers. So the impact is not really large. It's a non-event, because I think the company and the industry had fought for this, and this was implemented. As far as Kalyan Jewellers is concerned, sorry, Rima, this is something that I've not looked at.
Okay, sorry, textiles, I think we've spoken about this in the past. Anything new you've done there, Mithun?
No, I think, Prashant, there, we are positive on that space, primarily for a couple of reasons. I think last year they were impacted by high cotton prices. There was a lot of inventory. Now, as we go into the second, third quarters ahead of the seasonal festivities, their order books should also improve. Domestically, also, some of these companies on the home textile and the garment side are doing reasonably well. So, companies on the home textile, I think last time I mentioned a company that, we are quite positive on is Arvind, which is on the garments plus textiles plus the technical textile side. Also, another trigger, I think, for this space, at least near term, in terms of sentiment, is potentially the signing of the UK-India trade deal, which may be done by Diwali, is what I've been reading.
Okay, all right, Mithun, always good hearing your thoughts. Thanks so much for stopping by, and thanks for sharing some of those themes as well. Thomas Cook was one, Arvind Limited as well. We discussed with your due disclosures. Wishing you a good evening ahead. Well, the markets are moving very